Good day, grade 8 learners. Today we are going to discuss another lesson in Technology and Livelihood Education under the Exploratory course, Dressmaking and Tailoring. We are going to explore Module 1 or the Part 1 of Module 1, the different sewing tools and materials. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. Before we start, I want you to prepare yourself, head your module, a piece of paper, and a pen. Let's start with the pretest. Please read the statement carefully and write your answer on your answer sheet on a piece of paper or on your notebook. Let's start with number 1. Okay, choose the best answer or just the letter of the correct answer and write it on your notebook. Okay, I think you're done. Okay, next for number 3. Write the letter of your answer on your answer sheet. Okay, I think you're done. Okay, we're going to check your answer later after our discussion. For the learning objectives, identify sewing tools and materials and their uses. 1.1 Identify sewing tools and materials. 1.2 Classify sewing tools and materials. Knowledge about the different sewing tools and materials is important in sewing. The sewing tools and materials are classified or grouped according to their uses. Okay, the first one we have the measuring tools, the marking tools, the pinning and sewing tools, and of course, the cutting tools. Okay, let's start with the different measuring tools. First, we have the tape measure. Okay, the tape measure is a flexible measuring device used in taking body measurements. For example, you want to get the measurement of the waistline. You're going to use the tape measure. Okay, a tape measure has the measurement of 150 centimeters, and on the other side, it measures 60 inches. Next, another measuring tools is the sewing gauge. A sewing gauge is a small, flexible ruler with a sliding guide and is about 6 inches long. This is used for measuring the hemlines, buttonhole, and areas with small measurements, like for example, the pleats of skirts and tacks. The gauge is also made of metal. This is usually made of metal or plastic. Next, we have ruler. A ruler measuring 12 inches or even 18 inches, either clear or solid or wooden. It is useful tool to have for measuring and for drawing straight lines, seam lines, and for cutting lines. It also aids in connecting lines. A clear ruler is also a good tool for making buttonholes. Next, let's have the yardstick. It is made of smooth, shell-lock hardwood or can be made of metal. It is used for marking hem lines and checking grain lines when laying. Next, all-square. The TAILOR'S square or all-square. It is used to transfer measurement to the draft pattern. TAILOR'S square is same with all-square. It divides the garment into desired measurement. It has perfect squares and is useful in making straight lines and numbers. It can also function as a tape measure. It has two arms connected perpendicularly. The longer arm measures 24 inches long and the shorter arm is 14 inches long. This measuring tool usually is made of wood or metal. And of course, we have the French curve. Okay, the French curve is used to shape the neck hole and the armhole. It is used when drafting pattern, it is used to shape the curved lines, especially on parts like the armhole, the neck hole. You will be needing this sewing tool, the French curve. After having the different measuring tools, let's now have the different marking tools. Okay, first on my list is the chalk pencil or the dressmaker's pencil. The dressmaker pencil is available in white or pastel shade and is also used to make fine lines on fabric. It has an erasing brush at one end. This is how it looks. It's available in different colors. Next is the liquid marking pen. Okay, there are two types of liquid marking pen. One that wash out and one that fades out after 48 hours. So it is best to use the one that fades out after 48 hours. Those that wash out should not be used on fabric that show watermarks. So the mark should be removed first before pressing the fabric. Another marking tool is the TAILOR'S chalk. The TAILOR'S chalk is available in different colors, which can be removed by brushing. Wax chalk. This is available in black or white and is used for woolen fabric. So the markings made by this wax chalk can be removed by pressing. Next is the tracing wheel. There are two types of tracing wheel. Those with a serrated edge and those with a smooth edge. The serrated edge tracing wheel produces dots on the fabric. This is suitable for most type of fabrics, while the smooth edge tracing wheels is best for delicate fabrics, and unlike the serrated edge, this will not pierce more delicate fabrics. The smooth edge tracing wheels creates a solid line. Dressmaker's carbon paper, also called a dressmaker's tracing paper. It is specially waxed carbon paper that transfers the tracing wheel markings to the fabric. A color of tracing paper should be chosen that is close to the color of the fabric. After the marking tools, let's now move on to the pinning and sewing tools. Let's first have the thimble. A thimble is a small pitted cup for protection on finger to push the needle. Sewing needle threader or the needle threader. Needle threader is used as an aid in putting the thread to the needle. Hand needle is used in making temporary stitches and buttonholes. Pin cushion is used to hold straight the needles and pins. Thread is used in assembling or constructing the garment's parts. Next, fabric. It is a cloth used in making garments. Now let's have the cutting tools. Let's start with the rotary cutter and mat. It is an adaptation of giant rotary cutter, and it works like a pizza cutter. A seam ripper. It is specifically designed for ripping out stitches from seams. Thread clippers. It is a handy little spring-loaded cutting tool for snipping threads and not for fabric. Buttonhole scissor. This tiny scissor is intended for making buttonholes. Embroidery scissor. It has sharp pings used for fine details in delicate fabrics and embroidery. A trimming scissor. It is used for trimmings, clipping threads, and snipping slashes. Next is pinking shears. Pinking shears is a popular in zigzagging or scallop edge or for seam finishes and not good for straight cutting. And of course, the bent-handed dressmaker's shears. Its blade moves easily and cuts smoothly, and it has quality steel and sharp cutting edge. This is used for cutting fabrics. Okay, we're done. Now let's have an enrichment activity. I have prepared here a crossword puzzle. So with the given statement, try to identify the different sewing tools and materials being described and fill up the crossword puzzle based on the directions of either across or down. Going to give you 5 minutes to do this activity. For number 1 across, it is a small pitted cup for protection on finger to push the needle. Okay, what is the answer? Next, for number 4, across, it is used in making temporary stitches and buttonholes. Number 5, across, a flexible measuring device used in taking body measurement. And for number 6, it is the cloth used in making garments. Number 10, across, this is also known as Tailor's square. Okay, for number 2, down. It is popular in zigzagging or scallop edges or edge, or for seam finishes, and not good for straight cutting. Number 3, it is used as an aid in putting the thread to needle. For number 7, down, it is specifically designed for ripping out stitches from seams. Number 8, a small ruler with a sliding guide and is about 6 inches long. And last but not the least, 9, down. This is used to shape the depth of the neck hole and armhole of the pattern. Okay, very good. Now let's try to classify the following sewing tools and materials based on their uses. Write MS for measuring tools, CT for cutting tools, MK for marking tools, and PT for pinning and sewing tools and materials. Okay, let's start with number 1. Number 1, French curve. Very good. Number 2, needle threader. Nice. 3, thimble. Check. 4, pinking shears. Very good. Tailor's chalk, number 5. Correct. 6, gauge. Very good. 7, pin cushion. Correct. 8, fabric. You're right. 9, needles. Check. And number 10, ruler. Very good. Okay, class. So for your assignment, suppose that the figure below is your sewing box or your sewing kit. Okay, in this activity, you have to fill your sewing box or your sewing kit with the different sewing tools and materials on the checklist through drawing. Use one long bond paper for this activity.